If you want to know why Macy's needs to reinvent itself, why the department store giant wants to change, and why doing so will be so challenging, you could start by comparing two of the most recent circulars that the chain sent to shoppers. One brochure is a snappy mini catalog for the all-important holiday season, a centerpiece of a new marketing campaign called Gifts We Love. It features 125 items, a tiny, strategically chosen slice of the tens of thousands of products Macy's sells. It uses lush, high-quality photography and elegant fonts to showcase offerings like a cozy UGG robe and a $180 Star Wars drone. And there's not a single mention of a discount. Not one extra 40% off, or 30% to 75% off store-wide bubble to be found. If anything, the brochure looks like something a higher-end retailer, a Nordstrom or a Saks, might produce. It also looks almost nothing like Macy's previous circular, which came out just days earlier. That one touts canyon-deep discounts pegged to the end of daylight saving time, a flimsy excuse for a shopping event if ever there was one. One such deal: 65% off Tommy Hilfiger sport coats. The brochure looks cluttered, almost like a supermarket coupon mailer. It gives off a whiff of desperation. Gifts We Love represents the future to which Macy's aspires. It's part of a far-reaching effort by the nation's largest department store chain to regain its former mantle as a tastemaker among better brands at its 664 stores nationwide. The daylight saving discount orama, meanwhile, represents the reality Macy's is struggling to transcend, a circular firing squad where big retailers that offer very similar products can lure shoppers only by slashing their prices. The Tale of Two Brochures epitomizes Macy's long-standing identity crisis, and it's one that the company needs to resolve soon. In November, the company, which also owns the 38-store Bloomingdale's chain, posted its 11th consecutive quarter of declines in comparable or same-store sales, a metric that strips out results from recently opened or closed stores. Its stock is down more than 70% from its 2015 peak. The task of reversing this slide falls to Jeff Gennette, Macy's CEO since March and a 34-year veteran of the company. This holiday season, during the gift-buying rush that generates about 30% of annual sales, and is the one and only time all year that some shoppers will visit a Macy's store, the initiatives Gennette and his team are rolling out will face their first major test. Gennette's plan, dubbed North Star in a nod to Macy's logo, leans heavily on the Gifts We Love approach, stressing the idea of Macy's as not just a store but a retail authority, a favorite word of the imposing 56-year-old CEO. Our customers really look to us for fashion curation and guidance, more so than to other retail brands. Gennette tells Fortune he wants to capitalize more fully on that clout with customers in fashion, beauty, home goods, and even tech. That means de-emphasizing discounts and cutting clutter in stores, so that Macy's can build a selective aura around hotter brand names that can draw more customers and sell at bigger profits. There's a catch, though. If Macy's eliminates too many discounts, it risks chasing away the deal-hunting shoppers who account for much of its $25 billion in annual sales. In short, Gennette wants to burnish Macy's tasteful patina while remaining what retailers call a promotional store, quote, and threading that needle may prove to be as difficult as shimmying down a chimney flue with a sack full of toys. It would be Pollyanna-ish to believe that Macy's will easily win its way back into shoppers' good graces. The chain has been bleeding market share, losing ground to established retailers, including the almighty Amazon, and to ascendant digital-first companies like Stitch Fix and Revolve. Younger customers are staying away in droves, and in an ominous turn of events, big brands like Coach, Michael Kors, and Ralph Lauren have reduced the amount they sell through department stores, complaining that the industry's culture of discounting has contaminated their brands. Even Nike, without naming names, recently said it had had enough of mediocre retailers and would rely more on its own stores and e-commerce site. These are the fires that Gennette is racing to douse. Since taking the reins from longtime CEO and current executive chairman Terry Lundgren, he has won kudos from investors for his frankness about store clutter and shopper defections. It's been nice to hear Macy's talk about reality rather than tell the street what it wants to hear, says Stacy Widlitz, president of consulting firm SW Retail Advisors. Gennette has led a reorganization of top management, the third in 3 years. That included poaching a top eBay executive, Hal Lawton, to be his second in command, and consolidated the retailer's sprawling merchandising bureaucracy. This holiday season, customers will start seeing North Star's influence on the sales floor. Macy's will set up displays at key spots in stores to highlight the gifts we love, supported and promoted by Macy's small but increasingly important army of My Stylist personal shoppers. After the holidays, Macy's will continue to curate must-have items under a new IT list rubric. The chain is wooing higher-spending customers. Meanwhile, with a revamped loyalty program that lavishes the top 10% of its customers, people who spend an average of $1.200 a year, with more goodies like exclusive sales and beauty salon pampering. Close observers will spot other changes, too, as moves initiated years ago bear fruit. More Macy's are selling beauty products in ways that borrow ideas from nimbler, fast-growing competitors like Ulta Beauty and Sephora. There are now 20 stores with a kiosk from Blue Mercury, the luxury beauty chain the company bought in 2015. And in more locations, clearance merchandise now dwells in segregated areas, called Last Act, intended to keep their deep discounts from sharing space with, or dimming the luster of, trendy brands that sell at full price. Conventional wisdom holds that department stores can't survive in the 21st century, and the woes of retailers from J.C. Penney to Sears to Dillard's to the upscale Neiman Marcus reinforce that argument. But of its cohort, Macy's arguably is the best equipped to pull through the current slump. It's one of the few chains offering a mix of higher-end and mass-market merchandise, and it wields a formidable marketing and supply chain apparatus. The company is also an e-commerce powerhouse, with $4.3 billion in annual sales, ranking at 6th nationwide. These strengths have helped Macy's buy more time from investors and analysts, even as it struggles to figure out what comes next. It takes a long time to turn around a battleship, but they're incredibly dangerous, says Mortimer Singer, CEO of retail consultancy Marvin Traub Associates. Now the pressure is on Gennette to retrofit the U.S. Macy's before changing consumer tastes capsize it. Few retailers enjoy as prized a place in U.S. history as Macy's. The retailer, opened in 1858 by Roland H. Macy in New York City as a dry goods store, became a cornerstone in many major American cities by the early 20th century. And its primacy in popular culture was cemented by the 1947 holiday movie classic, Miracle on 34th Street. The million-square-foot Macy's flagship is among the 5